Thank you everyone for watching and tuning in today. We are going to be going over the UK glossary for landlords and tenants. These are the important keywords that you will be hearing and dealing and looking at frequently and the meaning. So, Dennis, would you like to start us off today?
I can certainly do that. Thank you everyone for being part of this journey that we're going to put you through. So Michael, an additional person fee. What's the additional person fee?
This is a charge for every additional person to be included in the tenancy agreement.
Excellent, which is the lease.
Now the next word is ALA, which is an acronym for the Association of Residential Letting Agency. This is the UK's foremost professional body for letting agents, and I can't believe I just said your part.
You did say my part, but that's okay. So I feel like I'm in arrears, which is the next word, which means in attempt, it basically means any late or unpaid rent. So arrears is any late or unpaid rent. So Michael, a short hold tenancy agreement. In other terms, it's the AST.
Now, this is a standard tenancy agreement normally used for residential lettings.
Okay.
Now, the next word is beneficiary,
which is the individual or the individuals designated to receive the benefits from a policy. Now, the next words is buy to let, Michael, buy to let.
Now, buy to let is an investment where you buy a property, usually with a mortgage, and you rent it out. The next word is check out.
Well, it's the process of checking a property after a tenant has vacated the property. Normally, it's only done, when an inventory had been carried out at the start of the tenancy. Like the condition of the property is checked to against the inventory, which is the report or the evidence at the settlement for the deposit. So the next one is council tax.
Now, a council tax is what is levied by local councils to cover the cost of the local amenities and services. The next word is client money protection, so CMP.
So the client money protection is the scheme provides compensation for landlords, tenants, and other clients when the agents misuse or misappropriate the rent, deposit or any other client's funds. The move has CMP covered through ALA, property mark. So the next word is critical illness cover.
This is the big one. So critical illness cover pays out a lump sum if you are diagnosed with a specified critical illness. Typical illnesses include Alzheimer's disease before the age of 60, benign brain tumour, blindness, cancer, coma, HIV, caught in the UK from a blood transfusion, physical assault or at work, heart attack, kidney failure, loss of sight, major organ transplant, motor neuron disease, so MND, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, stroke, third-degree burns, total permanent disability. The next word is death in service,
which is life insurance an employee provides that may be linked to a person, pension scheme, as cover ceases should you change jobs. That is not normally suitable for mortgage protection. The next word is decreasing term assurance.
So this provides a lump sum in the event of a death during a policy term. The amount of cover, the sum assured, decreases over the term of the plan. This type of cover is usually used as a basis of a mortgage life insurance plan to protect the declining balance of the loan. The next word is deferred period.
A period of time that has to pass before benefit from a policy is claimed. Typically, income protection policies will have a choice of deferred periods to suit any benefit you may be eligible for from your employer. Draft contract is the next word.
Draft contract is like an unconfirmed version of the contract. The next word is Energy Performance Certificate, EPC. This is important, EPC.
All properties let for private residential purposes must have an EPC. It is used to report the energy performance of a property. So the next word is a fixed term tenancy.
This is a tenancy with a specified start and an end date. The next word is fully managed,
which is a service level offered to landlords. This is our comprehensive, hassle-free service requiring minimum involvement from you, from the owner. Whatever is required by you or the tenant, we will take care of it. The next word is first tier tribunal. So this one is based in Scotland.
So this was formed to deal with rent or repair issues in private sector housing, replacing the rivet rented housing panel, the PRHP, and the homeowner housing panel, the HOHP. For landlords and tenants, the first tier tribunal helps to resolve a rental housing dispute. The next word is furnished.
A property that is let with all furnishings a tenant would need to live comfortably. The next word is furnishings.
Well, this is basically the contents of the property that's included as part of the rent. The next word is gas safety check. This is important.
It is, because landlords are required to arrange for the gas safety check to take place annually on rented properties. This must be carried out by a registered engineer, which moves to the next words, gas safety record, which is the GSR.
So this is important too. It's a document that shows that the gas appliances, including the gas meter, has had an annual gas safety check carried out by a registered engineer. Landlords are legally required to have a GSR produced annually. The next word is gross rental yield.
Well, this is the annual rental income expressed as a percentage of the value of the property, which the next word is guarantor.
Now, this is someone who's chosen to guarantee the payments of rent for the tenant should they fall into arrears. The next word is house in multiple occupation, HMO. This is important.
Which is a term applied to a property which has 3 or more tenants who are not in a family unit.
So that could be friends. It could be random strangers that are sharing a house. It just means that anything other than a family unit and more than 3 or more people living in that property.
So the next word is income protection.
Now, this provides tax-free income in the event of you not being able to work due to ill health. Payments are usually paid monthly until you either return to work, the policy term expires, you retire, or death. The next word is inventory.
So the inventory is conducted before the tenancy starts, is to provide an accurate list of the rental property or the condition and the contents of the condition of the property. So the next word is land registry.
So this is the government organisation that holds all the records of all registered properties throughout England and Wales. The next word is landlord.
Well, this is the person that actually owns the property, the one that allows the tenant to live in the property in exchange for the rent. So the next word is the letting agent.
An agent who assists the landlord with the tenant and the tenant with the let. Service levels will vary and will be agreed between the landlord and the letting agent. The next word is level term assurance.
So this is a policy that pays a fixed lump sum upon a death during the policy term. The next word is managing agent.
A letting agent who manages the day-to-day running of the property on behalf of the landlord. The landlord remains legally responsible for the property and repairs, but the agent works on the landlord's behalf. The next word is non-resident landlord scheme, the NRL. This is important.
Yeah, which is the scheme that sets the rules for how overseas landlords pay taxes. So that's if an owner from a landlord from Australia has a property in the UK. So it's the scheme that sets the rules up for those owners. Which puts us on to the next word, which is notice.
Notice is a declaration by either the landlord or tenant that the tenancy agreement is coming to an end. The next word is ombudsman.
Which is the independent professional bodies who investigate complaints on behalf of customers against agents, solicitors, and insurance companies. The ombudsman. That's pretty well in most countries around the world. Everyone has an ombudsman. The next word is part furnished.
A property let with some furnishings. Most properties will provide white goods, fridge, washer, dryer. The next word is part possession.
Which is the term used when a property is being sold, where a tenant has legal right of occupation. Which puts us on to the next word. Portable appliance test.
Now, this is a test carried out on electrical appliances. The test is not legally required, although the landlord is responsible for ensuring any appliances provided are safe to use. The next word is portfolio.
When a landlord has more than one property, it's called a portfolio. They may have two properties. When a property manager is managing more than one property, they are managing a portfolio. So the next word is premium.
Premium payments to the insurance company to purchase cover. Next word is premium protection.
Which covers the cost of policy premiums during periods of unemployment due to illness or injury, also known as a waiver premium. Private residential tenancy, which is Scotland.
So this is any new tenancy starting on or after December the 1st, 2017 in Scotland, and will be private residential tenancy as long as the property is let to a person as a separate dwelling. A property can still be considered a separate dwelling even if some of the core facilities are shared with other tenants. For example, if a tenant rents only a bedroom in a flat but has a right to use a shared bathroom and kitchen, the property will be treated as a separate dwelling because the tenant has access to the range of facilities required for it to be regarded as a separate dwelling. The tenant lives in it as their only or main home. The tenancy isn't excluded under Schedule 1 of the Act. The purpose of introducing the private residential tenancy in Scotland is to improve security for tenants and provide safeguard for landlords, lenders, and investors. The new tenancy will be open-ended and will last until a tenant wishes to leave the let property or the landlord uses one or more of 18 grounds for eviction. The next word is reference.
Which is a process which an applicant, which is somebody who's applying, the applicant, the tenant, they have their credit is being checked, or their background is being checked, or their income and residence. So the next word is rent.
Rent is a fee, usually monthly, paid in exchange for accommodation. Next word is rent collect.
Which is a service level offered to landlords, as well as, finding you a tenant. Will also take care of collecting monthly payments on your behalf. This leaves you to organise the tenant's matters, the property maintenance, and to adherence to legislation. So the next word is repossession.
This is when loans are in a default. The mortgage lender can repossess the property and sell it so they can repay the debt. The next word is reviewable premium.
Premiums are very likely to change over a term of the policy. An insurer may choose to review premiums to set intervals such as every 5 years. The next word is rental yield.
So this is the gross rental yield. It's the annual rental income expressed as a percentage of the value of the property, whereas the net rental yield takes into account the costs associated with owning the rental property, such as property management, mortgage costs, insurance, etc., when making the calculation. The next word is right to rent.
The right to rent scheme, which helps to make sure that the people renting the property in the UK have legal right to be here. It was rolled out across England in February 2016. This right to rent law means the landlords or the letting agent must carry out identity checks on every tenant before they sign a tenancy agreement. The next word is security deposit.
This is the sum of money taken from the tenant at the beginning of the tenancy, held against non-payment of rent and any damage to the property above reasonable wear and tear. Next word is setup fee,
which is a charge for setting up a new tenancy. The cost covers referencing the tenant, drafting the tenancy agreements, and registering the deposit with a tenancy deposit scheme. The next words are subject to contract.
These are words used to indicate that an agreement is not yet legally binding. The next word is sum assured,
which is the amount of money you are insured for from outset of a policy. So the next word is tenancy deposit scheme, which is the TDS.
Now, this is another important one. A landlord is legally required to register the tenant's security deposit in a tenancy deposit scheme, which protects the money for the tenant and will assist with any disputes at the end of the tenancy. The next word is tenant.
Well, this is the person that lives in the property that is owned by a landlord in exchange for rent. So the next word is tenant find.
A service level offered to landlords. We find you a tenant and organise a tenancy agreement, leaving you with the day-to-day running of that let. The next word is tenants,
which is people living in a property owned by somebody else. So the next word is terminal illness benefit.
So this is the sum assured from a life insurance plan that becomes payable if you are diagnosed with a terminal illness where life expectancy is considered to be less than 12 months. So the next word is the Property Ombudsman, the TPO.
An independent body to which landlords can refer any complaint should an agent fail to address it to their satisfaction. The next word is underwriter.
This is the person who assesses and classifies the degree of risk that a proposed insurance represents. Next word is unfurnished,
which is a property let with no furnishings. The next word is waiver of premium.
This covers the cost of policy premiums during the periods of unemployment due to illness or injury, also known as premium protection. The next word and the last word is yield,
which is the amount of money a landlord receives from in rent as a proportion of the amount of money invested in their property.
So thank you for going through the list with us. Please make sure you go over this numerous times and pay careful attention to each word and the meaning, because a lot of these words will come up in your day-to-day and you need to become very familiar with them.
Yeah, and at the beginning of going through this, we're going to be saying words that you may not understand. We actually will cover that through it. So be sure to watch it over and over again so you get a really good understanding of it. Thanks for being on board.